Hello everyone. Before we start today's video, if you could all do me a solid and lightly tap the like button, perhaps share the video about and leave a comment. If you are not subscribed, subscribe as well. It would greatly help this channel. Thank you very much. Well, isn't this just fantastic? Captain's log, subjects 220905.2. Anyone ever see a roast battle so cringe that you end up having a stroke in your captain's chair, murder an NPC crew, and go to your safe space to cry about it? Yeah, me neither. That captain's log is what we like to call foreshadowing, and I think it's pretty obvious why. If you're not familiar with the art of stand-up comedy or a roast battle, I'm not going to define them. I will, however, tell you that roast battles have grown in popularity over the last 3 years. An alternate format to the diss track and the boxing. A way of saying things honestly towards your opponent, but in such a way that everyone gets to enjoy it. Usually it is done on a stage with an audience. I had often thought it took inspiration from that of the rap battles. In roast battles, you insult each other with thinly veiled or not so thinly veiled digs about appearance, personal habits, behaviors, jobs. Essentially, everything's on the table. If something isn't, chances are you shouldn't be on that stage. The audience then decide who the winner is. Now, if you are someone that is predisposed to not be able to take, for example, criticism, or take a little bit of the bad bants, or your only way of handling someone is to either just use these same regurgitated profanities or assault them, you also, chances are, don't belong on the stage. A good roast battle comes down to creativity. To be able to do this well, you have to follow the 3 Ps. Prepare, practice, and perform. Oh look, I've defined a roast battle. I guess I lied. If you've made it this far, you're a sucker. Thank you, smash the like. For this video, we're now going to insult Noodles, who has hosted a couple of roast battles, and the first of which did lead to his Twitch channel getting temporarily banned because someone dropped the F word, A-G-G-O-T. It wasn't particularly good, and the insults were they weren't good. I'm gonna link a video where I've put a bit of that in down below. Do check it out. Today though, we're going to talk about the more recent roast battle. We have video footage and a number of tweets to go through. The reason we are covering this though is going to become very obvious very quickly, because much like the first one, this did not go very well either. This time though, it didn't go well not just because of what Noodles said, but also because of what he did. When you're on a stage with another performer, you don't expect to be yeeted off it. I know there's context and we'll get to it, don't worry, but it does show just how fickle you are, that you like to act tough, show pictures of your ripped body, and then hide behind security when it suits you. Again, we'll get to that soon. So perhaps we should get to one of the more noteworthy clips that did its rounds, that has caused quite the stir.
Red one, 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 red one.
Well, what a lovely display of showmanship. Now, as that was a tad close, would you like to see a better angle of it? You may notice for this part of the video there is no audio at all, and that's because Noodles had it cut, because he didn't want anyone to hear what actually happened. But as you saw from the first clip, we saw exactly what happened. Salvo got up on stage, pulled out phone, played something, had audience on side, Noodles rolled a d20 and ultra stealthed his attack. And then because he's big, brave and tough, he hid behind security while hurling profanities. Anyone else think he might be a tad bitch-made?
Okay.
His name is Cracker Barrel now.
All right. So can we just get? Can we cut the music? Cut the music. Yeah. Bring back the audio. Bring back. You brought it back? Great. All right. Cool. So we're gonna do a show for all of you today.
So perhaps we should now go to Twitter to try and shed some light on what it is that has transpired. Willie Mac, Def Noodles, literally invites people to come or else they're a pussy. People show up. Def Noodles, pushes people and throws them out. Why? Repsion, Def Noodles just assaulted Salvo Pancakes. Def Noodles' tough walk is the most pathetic thing I've ever seen, and he muted the audio of the entire live stream. This is a disaster. Reply underneath, Salvo was on stage just goofing around. Dennis came out and shoved him off stage and they almost started fighting, lol, after replying to Chris Reagan, who had no idea what was going on. Keemstar, I just witnessed a comedian assaulted another comedian because he couldn't take a joke. Retweeted by Zaddy Noodles or Def Noodles himself, in all caps. Salvo is a crybaby troll. He had no jokes when he was given a mic. He choked when he got heckled and embarrassed himself. I'm performing at the LA Comedy Club in Las Vegas at 11:30 p.m. tonight. Come and see how a real comedian works. Tickets almost gone, link in thread. Now the tickets are linked down below. Augie did a little digging on this one. He phoned the comedy club. That tweet was deleted because it's a lie.
LA Comedy Club.
Yo, what's up? So I'm calling to ask if I heard this guy Dennis Feitosa was performing tonight at 11:30, but I clicked on the Eventbrite link to buy tickets and it says the event is unavailable.
Yeah. He's not performing. I've never heard of the guy.
You've never heard of the guy? That's weird because he's claiming on his social media account with 100,000 followers that he was performing tonight. He's been hyping up this event and tweeting out tickets and stuff, so I'm just a little confused.
Yeah, I'm confused myself. I've gotten like 2 calls about this guy. I've never heard of him.
Well, that's a tad embarrassing, isn't it, Dennis? Back to the tweets though. Def Noodles. 3rd Super Roast Battles, all in caps, on the 9th of September. History was made and it will repeat itself. Pull up or shut up. Tickets go on sale tomorrow. Replies underneath. Just give up on it all, man, you're nothing. And there are no comedians in California, my friend. The court ring retweeting Def Noodles' first tweet. You snuck up behind him and assaulted him like a true badass. And even with the element of surprise and your security guards, he was totally unharmed. I'm not sure this is the own you think it was. Nick Diorio, after weeks of challenging YouTubers to meet him IRL for a roast event, Def Noodles physically pushes Salvo off the stage and has security rush to his aid. Adam McIntyre, any comment H3H3 Productions? Quite comparable to Will Smith at the Oscars, wouldn't you say? I know you were very opinionated about that, so I'm excited to hear your take. Underneath reply, H3 doesn't care, Salvo doesn't like them, and he's bad man. So either 1, nothing will be said, or 2, we don't know the whole situation, but had Salvo it coming to him eventually anyway. I'll be shocked if there's anything other than these. For the sake of it, I couldn't care less what Ethan Klein thinks about the situation. While he is quite close to Def Noodles, or Def Noodles is quite close to his anus, really it doesn't matter. What matters is the person who instigated the physical aspect rights the wrong. You can keep saying, but what happens on the stage stays on the stage. It's not a freaking ring, and you've had a chance to box somebody and you've declined because you want to do it bare knuckle or street fight because you're a right tough rapscallion, you. Also, Adam McIntyre tweeting out a 29-second video. I think we should play that.
Smith doesn't look like a crazy father like Richard Williams. Will Smith looks like a f***ing loser who can't take a f***ing joke. Chris Rock was there doing a job. Was the joke on Jada bad? Yes, it was an awful f***ing joke. It was absolutely uncalled for. But you know what's even more uncalled for? Getting smacked around because you're doing your f***ing job. No need to f***ing assault someone on international television because you didn't like the f***ing joke.
Within the space of 29 seconds, you dropped 6 profanities. Considering how long your videos are, I'd be very surprised if any of them were monetized because you can't seem to broaden your horizons with your vocabulary to articulate a passionate point without having to swear in the process. We all have to play the game, and I remember quite clearly you used to moan in video form about how many times you got demonetized. That could well be why. Back to the tweets though. Adam McIntyre, Def Noodles abusive and a pussy. 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 One for each dwarf. And finally on Adam McIntyre, Def Noodles was begging his online enemies to fly out to pull up and confront and roast him IRL so much that he said if they didn't, they were pussies. He said he'd even pay. So someone does, and this is how he acts. No, Def Noodles, you're the effing pussy. Tipster, I was just banned in Def Noodles Twitch chat, lol. Well, that was your first mistake, I bet you typed a message. Tipster, just got off the phone with someone in the crowd of Def Noodles roast. She had chairs pushed into her knees every time they went at Salvo pancakes. And she got wet when they threw water on Salvo. They had no care for anyone in the crowd. They just cared about attacking at Salvo. With Mikey Perk underneath replying, this just felt like it was poorly run and organized. Tipster, the spin is real. A retweet of the Def Noodles Salvo is a crybaby troll tweet. And Tipster, hey Rich Lux, no beef or anything, but what makes you think no one is going to cover Def Noodles now? I myself am literally making up a docket on this topic right now, and everyone is doing videos on this. Hi, who said they aren't talking about it now? LOL. As for the comments on us contributing to this, I disagree. Def Noodles' own actions contributed to this, and for a professional comedian he should be better equipped to handle hecklers, unlike the way he and his comics assaulted Salvo pancakes and harmed attendees. There is a 1-minute 28 video underneath, and I'll play a short clip from that for the sake of context.
And then he comes out, busts open the door, and I listen, because I already know how y'all are. I'm not defending Def Noodles, defend himself. I'm not defending the other parties, they can defend themselves. I'm just calling it like I see it. I think that Def Noodles lost. And I say this because he let these people who don't like him, the detractors, whatever, get the best of him. Now, what I find interesting is that there's so many people who had a lot to say, you know, me included, that his comedy roast was boring, his comedy roast was this, Def Noodles content is bad, or so boring the house, I don't like this new Def Noodles and stuff like that. Like, yeah, everyone who has said that has contributed to it, whether you think so or not. Yes, you have. So to sit here now and say, oh, now that he's assaulted somebody, I don't want to talk about it, that's just too deep for me. I just can't. Well, no, in some way you played a part in that too, right?
Back to the tweets though. Lazy bedhead. Def Noodles is the most pathetic person online. Imagine calling people pussies for not coming to your unfunny comedy roast, and when they do actually attend, you assault them and throw them out. Oblax. One of the comedians at Def Noodles' second roast battle allegedly got 3,000 to be there, with underneath, no way man, there's no way Def paid this man more than the ticket revenue he made. Not gonna deny it is a little sus. Salvo pancakes. Def Noodles. Dennis Fetiso has a nasty secret messy divorce he's hiding. He has a long history of acting like this. His ex-wife, I'm here when you want to tell your story, with the hashtag justice for Salvo being underneath. Also Salvo, Dennis better hope his mush-brain papa leaves him a fortune when he dies miserably. We will be suing. Now the interesting thing about Ernesto Ledesma, the person who said he got paid $3,000 to be there, is that it's also claimed they were not invited to actually be there. I got really confused with this, okay? Def Noodles. I'm in Vegas bitches tonight at the LA Comedy Club. Underneath, bro, you need to use Carvos's Manscaped code. Now, the entire second Super Roast battle is on the Def Noodles Show YouTube channel, and one of my favorite comments reads, history has been made. We are witnessing the rise of an absolute lolcow. You can't tell Dennis to stop because he won't. Let's just let the captain sink with his ship and kick back with some popcorn. Cheers to another disaster stream. And oh, the commentary channel's about to have a field day. Yes, we are. I still find it fascinating that at time of recording, Dennis Fetosa's pinned tweet is a tweet referencing that numerous creators are trying to deplatform him in an organized effort. No, we're trying to call you out on your lies and BS, and when you are proven time and time again to be a bullshit artist and a liar, you double down with many different excuses. Can you please stop lying? Can you please stop being, well, a pretender, quite frankly? Maybe you should go back to being the cat boy as you edge 40 and you still look like a cat boy. You might find that's your niche. Although, part of me really wants to see more roast battles because we all need a cleanse from time to time to get all the cringe out of our systems. Like a poison. If you don't, it just sits there and it possibly mutates and kills you. You, though, get it out of my system quite handily without need of antibiotics. Thank you.